Howdy everyone, and welcome to my game review for The Walking Dead DLC 400 Days. I managed to get this in the Xbox Live market, being the fact it's Halloween. They were selling it for £1.60. I managed to get it for absolutely nothing, thanks to some leftover Microsoft points. I've just finished recently playing it now. The game kind of clocked in about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half, maybe, something along those lines. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed by it. It was actually a really nice little well done game. And of course, if you play the other The Walking Dead official game, this is something I think you need to definitely play for sure. So let's talk about The Walking Dead 400 Days. Why did you black out the sun? So the 400 Days is a nice little in-between between Season 1 and Season 2, which they're currently developing with The Walking Dead game. I'm really looking forward to Season 2 of The Walking Dead. I think I'll be buying each episode as they come out. I really loved The Walking Dead main feature game. If you haven't seen my review for that, there'll be a link in the description below or an annotation somewhere on the video. That is one of my favourite games of this year in terms of raw story, and I think the TV show could learn one or two things from the actual game itself in terms of portraying actual characters and situations. And one of the things I loved about the actual Walking Dead game itself is the fact that the decisions, and you can kind of side with people, and they will remember it, so they can reflect back in it later on. And there was basically 5 episodes in a sense within the first main game, and this is a nice little bonus kind of little teaser in a sense, kind of whet the appetite. I'm pretty confident some of these characters in this little DLC will be in the actual main Season 2 game, or maybe they kind of come across some or something along those lines, because they always focused on more than just one character, of course. This one has, I've about 5 characters on like the opening kind of menu. It's just like a billboard, and it shows like 5 characters, and you can choose which one you want to play, and shows their kind of backstory and how they got into this kind of world, and the outbreak happening, and their kind of individual situations, and kind of one's a convict, others just happened to kill a zombie and freaking out, just know what's happening. Another one's kind of like a settlement on this kind of little diner station, and they're kind of like you're making decisions with like, I don't know, do we help people? What do we do? Do we defend ourselves? Or what kind of people do we become? And I really like the idea of humanity in some sense, and the fear of losing it, and how far would you become and lose yourself in that, in decision making. I mean, if someone comes to your camp, steals equipment, steals food, ammo, medicine, what do you do with that person? Do you kill it? Do you let them go? I mean you got to think big, and it's thinking on that kind of scale, which how far do you lose yourself and your humanity in a sense, and how it can affect the entire your group in a sense. And I really liked some of the decisions in it, because you kind of think to yourself, yeah, that's the right decision in the game. It gives you the option of making the decision, and it will affect the outcome of your story, especially of course within the main feature game Walking Dead, and of course with this little DLC. And to be honest, some of the decisions I made I felt were pretty appropriate. I felt they were decisions I think an ordinary person would do, or depends on the person yourself. I mean, if you think to yourself, fuck that person, or I'm looking out for myself, or thinking, no, actually I'm going to save that person, I'm going to try and do it. And it's interesting to see the outcome of it later on within the actual little story, and that's one of the things I love about the game. It just kind of it kind of punishes you a little bit for doing the right thing, and sometimes doing the wrong thing can lead to the good thing. I don't know, it depends on your kind of how you choose to play the game in a sense. Now of course there's 5 major characters in this game, and they're lots of little short little backstories into these individual characters and how they got out of the situation, that type of stuff. I felt they're all done really well. I really liked each characters. I felt some of them were interesting, some were kind of makes you think a little bit in some of the situations they happened and present. They all kind of intertwine with each other, they all kind of cross over, and little references here and there, like seeing the convict in the first main mission, and of course in the second one character you get to see like the van outside in the background. So there's always little references and teasers and little things. It's not as long as an actual episode from the original Walking Dead game. An actual standard episode from that game will last you quite some time, in all fairness. It will last you about 2 hours depending on what you do in a sense, and I felt like each episode was definitely really a lot of meat on it and very worthwhile, and it was a lot to explore. This one's just a nice little, like, here's some characters to play with. And of course, in total, it does add up to quite some amount of time, like an hour and a half I managed to finish it. And it's always fun to see the outcome after the main game's finished, of course. I mean, I managed to finish it, and it shows you the kind of statistics of how many people chose the decision same as you, as other players did. And it's interesting to see, the outcome and who went, what happened to some characters, what character did this and that. And, your decisions will affect the entire story, and I really like that as the actual outcome. So I'm curious to see how the Season 2 takes the DLC on board and uses it in a sense. It's on a really, really low price at the moment for £1.60 on Xbox Live. I'm not sure about PC or PlayStation. Maybe the same price, or hopefully will be, or the sale's still on. Definitely worth picking up, definitely worth playing before Season 2, the actual game. That's been my review for The Walking Dead 400 Days DLC. I hope you enjoyed watching this review. What did you think? Do you think it was good? Do you think it's bad? Don't have any opinions? Comment down below. So in the meantime, I'm Andrew from Game TV. Signing out.